listening to Winnipeg's Classic 107. My name is Simon Rusnak. Summer camp is back at the International Peace Gardens. After a 2-year hiatus, the International Music Camp returns with a full summer of arts programming, including week-long band, choir, and orchestra creative intensives. To tell us more, I'm joined by Brent Johnson. Welcome back to Classic 107, Brent.
Hi, Simon. Thanks for having me.
Well, I have to ask, how thrilled are you that campers are going to be returning to the Peace Gardens this summer?
It's a very good feeling, and it's been a long couple of years. Virtual programming, as we know, is no replacement for the intensity and the relational aspects of in-person resident camping and arts programming. So, yeah, the excitement is palpable.
I'm sure that it is. And like you say, there really is no substitute for making music live together. Before we get to the programming itself, can you tell us a little bit more about the Peace Gardens, where they are and what makes them so special?
Yeah, it's really a beautiful place that and a treasure of our province, and a place that far too few people know about, to be honest. So the International Peace Gardens is located on the Manitoba-North Dakota border, an hour south of Brandon on Highway 10. The closest town is Boissevain, Manitoba, which is also a lovely place.
Mm-hmm.
And from, depending on where you are in Winnipeg, it's about a 3-hour drive, approximately. The Peace Gardens itself straddles both countries and both Manitoba and North Dakota. And it's a beautiful tourist attraction. And they've been busy actually over the last couple of years, improving facilities and infrastructure and beautifying the gardens and doing a lot of work. So I haven't actually been back there since before COVID. I'm very excited to go in about a month's time and see everything that's been happening. But it's a beautiful and unique and very peaceful setting for the International Music Camp as well. It really is a gathering place. A place where community is made and where friendships and lifelong friendships are made, and people with common interests come together and spend time doing what they love, and that is making music, creating art, and becoming friends.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like a very inspiring place. And as the name implies, International Music Camp draws attendees from both sides of the border, right? Coming together to make music.
Absolutely. Yep. We have over the years, we've had representation from all 50 states and all provinces and territories in Canada, as well as something like 80 different countries.
Wow.
We have an international exchange program that brings in students from all over the globe. Typically, we'll have, I would say, between 15 and 25 different countries represented each summer at camp. So it truly is an international gathering place.
Well, that's just it. Certainly living up to the name. How many campers typically attend over the summer months? Do you know?
So we do 6 weeks, 6 week-long programs, plus a half-week adult camp at the end of our summer. And in a typical year, we would see upwards of about 2,000 students and about 250 faculty and staff come through the camp over the roughly 7 weeks.
Yeah, certainly a very, very busy place, and a lot of people making music together and making so many memories too. I mean, it is camp, and that is a highlight for so many students over the summer months. Can you tell us a little bit more about the age range? I know it sort of goes from about grade 5, the youngest campers, through to grade 12, and then, as you mentioned, adult programming, but the bulk of the programming dedicated to young music makers, right?
Yeah, most of our programming is aimed at students in middle school and high school. Each program, depending on what program it is, and there are about 40 unique programs offered at camp, music of all varieties, creative visual art, dance, drama, the list goes on. So you really do have to check our website to get a full picture of everything that we offer. But yeah, the bulk of our programming is designed for middle school and high school students. We actually have a special middle school week catered towards students in grades 5 to 8 for whom it may be their first resident camp experience, or certainly among their first. So that's our first week of programming in mid-June. Now you might wonder why we start in June. Because of the international nature of the camp, our US neighbors get out of school, most of them after this week, in fact. And so we start up a little bit early to accommodate their earlier summer start. We certainly do a lot of our programming in the month of July when our Canadian students can attend. And then at the end of the summer, usually about the last week of July, we do a 3.5-day adult community camp, and that is intended for adults of all ages. And there's about a dozen different programs offered during that week as well. Barbershop, choir, orchestra, band, you name it. And it is a lot of fun as well.
I'm sure that it is. You mentioned just how many options there are, and I was just kind of scrolling through on the website. I mean, yes, there's orchestral workshops and intensives, and also band and choir stuff, but there's also, fiddle workshops and harp and mallet percussion workshops and art programming and photography, and the list goes on and on and on. So lots to check out. Certainly something for any number of interests. I'm curious, how do things wrap up at the end of camp? Like, let's say someone's involved in the choir camp, as I'm partial to, or maybe they're involved in band camp. Is there like a big gala finale or something that all of the players are working towards? How does that come together?
Yeah, great question. So every program ends with either a performance or an exhibition, depending on the nature of the program. So it's a public showcase of the culmination of the week's learning and growth. So I'll pick a band, for example. Students arrive on Sunday, check in, register, move into their dormitories, and they get oriented. And then starting on Monday, there are rehearsals and classes on theory and small ensemble work and sectionals and a whole variety of things. It's a very intensive day, and they do that all week. And then on Saturday, we welcome parents, caregivers, family, friends onto campus, and we invite them to join us for lunch. And then we do an open air band concert. We're very lucky to have some really, really world-class, wonderful facilities. And the Masonic Auditorium, where we host most of our large performances, has these beautiful doors that open. So you're under a roof, you're not under the sun or being pelted by rain, depending on what Mother Nature decides to deliver that day. But it is open air on two sides, which really allows this connection with the nature that is all around us.
Just before I ask you about how one goes about registering, I'm really curious, Brent. How did you get involved with IMC? Was it as an administrator, or were you perhaps a camper at one time?
Well, if we go back a couple of decades and a bit, I will share actually one of my biggest regrets is not having gone to camp sooner. I grew up on a family farm, and that was my summer, was helping out on the farm. And in my grade 12 year, I said, "Sorry, Dad, I'm taking a few weeks for myself this year." And one of the things that I chose to do that summer was finally follow the advice of my many friends in band and go to camp for a week. It was the last time I was eligible to go as a student, and as luck would have it, I picked a week that none of my friends were going, but it's what kind of worked with the farm, and I wanted to try the jazz band week. So I threw my Barry sax in the back of one of our farm trucks and headed on down there, and fell in love with the place. And something like 23 years later, I've been involved ever since, working there in the summer, on the board, and a variety of other things as well.
And maybe writing the slogan, "Throw your Barry sax in the farm truck and come on down," if you're looking for a new ad campaign. But really, I mean, like you say, I don't think you can get involved soon enough. I mean, camp is such a formative experience. You make lifelong friendships. You truly do. And you also get to make some music with people from all over the world at the International Music Camp. So if people are now thinking, all right, how do I go about doing this? Tell us about the registration process. Where can people go and what's involved?
Yeah, it's easy to register online, and also to learn about our different programs on our website, which is www.internationalmusiccamp.com. There are 2 C's in there. You can go to programs and sessions and just see an outline of what's there. We have our faculty, our wonderful faculty listed by session there as well. So you can see who will be teaching and where they're coming from, because they come from all over North America as well. And we've got some great videos too that give kind of a snapshot of most of our programs and about what camp life is like as well.
Perfect. And we'll be sure to get all the links up. Again, International Music Camp with 2Cs.com or classic107.com. Only one C in classic. Brent, thanks so much for taking the time to chat with me about the IMC return this year. Have a wonderful summer at camp.
Thanks so much. And thank you for the opportunity. I hope to see many people out at camp this summer. It's going to be a great summer.